Is it doing it? Oh, right, it's working. So where you want it there? Is that good?
That's fine, yes.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes. We are streaming. We are live. So we're starting in 2 minutes. I'm just going to be sharing in as soon as it comes on the page. Oh, that's already sharing there. So all I need to do is share when I can see it. Right, so, right, you've got everything on the screen that you want to see there. Oh, here we go. I can invite my mum to the group. There you go. Okay, right, we are ready to go and we are live, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I will see comments. So, welcome everybody. Hi Alina, how are you? Oh, I've got a friend from Poland, from the Association for Teachers of Mathematics in Poland. Tony is on. And oh, and an old school friend as well. And Shannon from California. For goodness sake, welcome. We've got tonight we've got the Square It games. So even if you haven't got a child that's what age group are we looking at here, Tony? Between the ages of?
We are looking at all ages, and everybody will enjoy this game, grown-ups as well as children.
Yeah, family learning. And Johnny, this is very good to learn English using maths as a subject. Johnny has an English school, a couple of English schools in Madrid, in Spain. And so what we've got here today is I've been till I'm blue in the teeth telling you about the most wonderful person, my lovely privilege to call her a friend, Tony Bearden, who I absolutely adore. And she's somebody who's spent her whole academic career helping people. Maybe I should show you my face instead of the resource. She's spent her whole academic career, her whole working career, making maths something that helping people learn how to facilitate maths, basically. She's an expert. And when the internet came along in the 90s, the first thought Tony had, everyone else was like, oh, this is fun, we can play games, we can do different things. Not Tony. Tony thought, oh, we can spread all these amazing resources. And what the resources do is they're called low threshold, high ceiling. What they do is they're resources that no matter what level of attainment you're at, you can play the game, you can do the activity at a certain level, and then when you can stretch to a level that suits you, and if you have a high ceiling, if you can reach to the stars, they give you that opening. And there are also great resources to play as family play, and I'm using the word play intentionally. Hi Russell, and Tony has been prolific in creating these activities. She started off with a website called Enrich, based at Cambridge University, and when she retired, long story short, she created an organization in Africa, an NGO that trains teachers, that provides professional development for teachers. The resources, the online resources that she's been creating for the African teachers have to be easy to follow because they're in remote places, and they can't come in and ask questions and connect together like they can in the UK, for example. So they have to be easy to understand. So guess what that means? They're also easy to understand for people who are doing maths at home, which is quite a few people at the moment. So we've been doing these lives, and we've been using the resources that Tony's been writing that are freely available on the Aiming High website, which we will provide a link for this one at the bottom of the live. And that's, without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to the wonderful Tony. And I'm going to mute myself, Tony, apart from when I'm going to speak, so that your screen stays big.
Well, hello everybody. Okay, I'm Tony Bearden. I've been teaching for longer than most of you have been alive, since the early 60s. I was a school teacher, and then I taught at University of Cambridge. And when I retired, as Caroline said, I spent a lot of time in South Africa. Now, in South Africa, I work with teachers in disadvantaged schools, in disadvantaged communities. What that means is that they have very few resources, and they are cheerful and very, very determined to give those children a good education. So what are we going to do tonight? We are going to talk about a game, because I believe with Caroline that by playing games, children and everybody can learn a lot of good ideas, and not just good maths, but skills that they can use in other subjects and in life in general. This game is one where you have to think if you want to win. And so it's a lot of this is going to be about thinking and planning a winning strategy. Okay. And now through this game, your children are going to be able to move on to learn a lot about shapes and parallel lines and perpendicular lines, and eventually even go on to proof of Pythagoras' theorem.
Oh,
so
we missed that just a little.
A lot of
we missed just a little bit of that. We've got parallel lines.
We're not maths tonight. We're not going to stress the maths tomorrow.
Okay, we're playing a game tonight. We missed a little bit of that, Tony.
I'm not on a very good connection. Okay, can you hear now?
Yeah.
Right. What I was going to say, there's a lot of maths behind this game, and the children are going to get out of it. But before we move on, before we go on about the game, let's actually play it. Let's show you. Caroline and I are going to show you the game.
I could hear that. I could hear that. We're going to show you the game. That's what we're
going to show you the.
Here we go.
Well, it's a pencil and paper game. That's what makes it so good. You can see on the top of that sheet of paper, it says African Institute for Mathematical Sciences. That's the education charity, and it's the School Enrichment Centre. So all that comes to AIMSEC. Now, I'm sorry, the links there are not very clear, but there are links, and we're going to give you those links. One of them is to the page where there are, now that one, right. So the one on the left is to the page where there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resources. And by resource, I mean, it's a learning activity with notes for home learning to help teachers in schools are another time, but there's notes for teachers. But now it's home learning, so we're putting guides for home learning, and there's a worksheet on there for children. So there's lots of resources there that can be downloaded. And what's happened in South Africa is that smartphones have made it possible for teachers to share these resources. Before they were not able to, so now they can, and this is brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so on the other side, there's a facebook.com/AIMSECSA, and I'm going to show you those later, and you'll see that every day we publish and promote a new activity, and tomorrow it's this game. So Caroline, shall we play the game?
Let's. Right, tell me what to do. So the idea is we're going to model it for you, and so it makes it easier for you to play tomorrow. And we're going to be covering this again. This is tomorrow morning. So this is preparation for tomorrow morning. We'll be giving you the link so you can download this and print things out, or make models just by drawing them out. So we can play. We'll play the game as part of tomorrow morning's live. So go ahead, Tony. I'm Tony. This is Tony, and this is me.
Those are our colours. Okay. Now, so because we're not in the same place, we've got a grid with a sort of map type coordinates here. So Caroline, could you show them where B2 is? Everybody will know, but just show them B2.
That is B2.
Okay.
B2.
So I put these on, they're like map references, so Caroline and I can communicate with each other. When the children are playing, they don't need to use those because they're both going to be in the same place, marking their chosen points.
Well, you say that.
Colour.
You say
now,
that.
It's very simple.
Sorry, Tony, I play these games like this with my nieces, my nephews, my grandson, and I can play this game with my little people that are not in the same location as me. So it is huge. We can play with people I play with Spain, UK, and the United States all at the same time. And so this sort of grid reference is perfect for doing that.
Yes, and this game is suitable for 6-7-year-olds, as they probably won't play for very long, but they'll enjoy it too once they learn it. So it's very simple. The idea is to make a square. That's all there is to it. You win if you're the first person to make a square. So you try to stop your opponent from making a square. Now, Caroline, why don't you go first?
Right, I'm going to lock down that point there.
Right, Caroline, I'm going to go to C3.
C3. Okay. So I'm going to prevent. Okay. Oh, right. I can see why you're going on the outside. I'm still going to go to B2, C2 even.
Okay, so Caroline, I'm going to go to B0.
Yeah, you are, aren't you? B0. Right, now, in that case, I'm going to, my possibilities have dwindled dramatically. I'm going to go to A1.
Okay, well, Caroline, I'm going to go to A2 then.
A2. Right, I'm going to go to C1.
And what about D1, Caroline, in blue?
You want D1 in blue. Why can't I have D1? Oh, no, that's all right. I'm happy enough with that. You can have D1 in blue. And how do I win the game again?
I've got a square, Caroline. Show them my square.
Oh, what? Tony, I thought I was about to win. Oh my goodness. That is sneaky, but that can't possibly be a square, Tony. Squares are straight. This is a square here.
No, I sneakily did that because I know that most little people will not get tilted squares. Now Caroline's going to turn it round.
Wait a minute. There we go.
No, not too far, Caroline.
Oh, yeah, it's all right. I came back. It's not that easy, Tony.
You see, it isn't just the straight up. It's not just the straight up and down, and it's not just the straight up and down and straight across squares. One next, she would have got a square, of course. But I wasn't too worried because I was watching the red ones. And there you go. Now you've had an example of the game on a...
I think, Tony, that I think there's going to be still some
on a
people that we couldn't hear what you said. We couldn't hear it.
4x4.
We're going to have to repeat it. Tony, wait, hold on a second. But I think there'll be people out there that go, no, that's not a square. How do we know that those are right angles?
Well, Caroline, you could get a piece of paper and show them what the angle is at the corner, well, just the corner of a piece of paper. Your corner's curled.
Yes, it is. It's not very precise.
You can even show them that the edges are the same length. Mark it with a pen and just mark it with a pen.
Mark that with a pen, mark that there with a pen, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over.
Ooh, this is clever.
Mark that with a pen and that with a pen, and you will see if I pull it off. Oh, that's basically the
You
same.
could show them with the corner of that paper. You could show them that the other corners or angles in my square are really right angles. They're all right angles.
Yeah,
all the sides are all
and the same. Yeah, the same works everywhere, anywhere I put it. So that's a very simple way of demonstrating that is a square and those are all right angles. You could even cut this out, and you can cut that out actually, and then place it on any of the, or not on those squares because the length is different, but you can draw it out and you'll see it's a square. So it is a square. Right, what's next?
Now, if we were doing this with little children, we would probably play quite a lot and not do any squares like that at first with a 6-year-old, because that'll just throw them out. But I'm doing this for grown-ups. Okay. Now, the point about this game is that there is a huge amount here of maths behind it, but what we want to do is to have fun with it first before we ever get to the maths. Caroline, would you like to show them that they can have the copies of this, they can download it, and just below what we're seeing, there's some grids that they can also play on. Okay. And they're all the 16 dot grids. Now then, page 2 of that PDF has got 25 dot grids.
Somewhere. No, somewhere here. I do have them. I've hidden them. I hid them when I was getting out the paper to
Caroline, you have got it there. I saw it a few minutes ago. Is it underneath the piece? Oh, there you go. There you go. That's it. Right. And there's an art. I call it tilted square because it's just rotated. It's not straight across and straight up and down. And what you see in the little picture at the top there is that you can also play this game on a square grid. The PDF has actually got red and blue dots as well, but Caroline printed it in black and white, so it doesn't.
That's all I've got. Got no blue and red ink.
Doesn't matter.
But you'll see it for real when you download the PDF.
When you download it yourself, you'll see that it does have different colours. Okay. Now, I wouldn't show that to the children myself, and there wasn't a picture like that on the first sheet deliberately, because I wanted the children, no, and don't fall that underneath, Caroline. The first sheet hasn't got a picture with a tilted square, deliberately, because I want the children to discover by playing that there will be a tilted square somewhere, sometime, okay? So page 1 doesn't have a diagram like that to give away the fact that there are tilted squares.
The one that we were playing
so
on before,
Callum,
yeah.
how about no, we're going to play one we're seeing. We're going to play a 25 dot grid and play another game. Okay, just move it slightly so there it is. I can see it all now.
Right. Okay.
You can start.
Right. Where to start strategically? Where's a good place to start strategically? Well, I'm going to foil you with your tilted squares. I'm going to go here and go, you're not going to get that tilted square. Oh, that's not a tilted. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, I can see. Yes, there's one there. Go on. Your turn.
I'm going to go to D3.
Right, D3. I've just realized I need to just reduce the volume here so we don't have an, oh, do you know, I tell you just very quickly, Tony, I'm going to say we've got, hello, Patricia, hello, Kirsten, hello, Barbara, hello, Wendy, hello, Tommy, hello, Wendy again, hello, my cousin Roddy, Pauline Ellis, we've got loads of people, Andy Davis, my cousin Chrissy, Aneta Christian, so we've got at least 2 people now from Denmark, Shirley Freeman, Russell Wells, Shannon Costello from the US, Johnny Garcia from Spain, and Alina from Poland. We've got loads of people. Right, my turn. I hope that's distracted Tony.
Caroline, before you go,
yes.
Some of these people might not have tuned in from the beginning. So okay. Can we just tell them that what we're trying to do is to make squares, and I'm trying to get a square in blue before Caroline gets a square in red. And why we're doing this is because tomorrow the children are going to play this game. What we're trying to do is every day have a different activity for learners at home. And we are actually planning these activities so the whole family can join in. Older brothers and sisters, small children, all ages. And the maths learning will help grown-ups to show the children at a level suitable for 7-year-olds or a level suitable, and they can get different maths out from the game. So we're trying to help you to help the children learn tomorrow.
Yes. So this session is aimed at grown-ups. Some of that went a bit skew-if, Tony, with the connection. So the idea is that tomorrow morning at 9, the 9 o'clock live, we'll be playing this game with the objective of the children playing this game, and then of course it'll be on the reruns. And tonight, the idea is the grown-ups are learning how to play it so they can help with any explanations. And every day we've got activities that are on the Aiming High website, and we're organizing it much more. It's been a bit haphazard over the last few weeks. We're coordinating it. We're getting to grips with what's needed, and every evening we're going to be doing a session like this for grown-ups, and then in the mornings we're going to be doing hands-on for the younger learners. And this as a family activity, they're brilliant. The older learners can help the younger ones, and the older learners will learn loads. Like I am. I don't think it's possible to win against Tony Bearden. So I'm going to see what I can come up with here. I'm going to. It's making my head go funny. That's not going to help me. That's not going to help me. Let me see. I'm going to go. What was I thinking? Okay, I'm going to go here. So we can't hear you. Oh, Tony, you've muted yourself. You're muted. Okay.
Sorry, C0, Caroline.
C0, C0, C0. I don't trust this woman. She's sneaky. Oh dear, oh dear. I've got to now work. What is she working on? What is Tony thinking about here? Well, I'm going to force you to do something there, which might not be in your plan.
No, it wasn't. Clever you. E4.
E4. Ah, she stopped me from making a very obvious square, but now I'm working out where the square that Tony can see is. What square is Tony? Oh dear, I better go here. If I don't go there, I might be. Yes, that's got to be done. I'm not sure how helpful that is to me, but it.
C4.
Dear, 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 dear. Let me see what's going on here. Which one? I think that one. So we're making squares here, or stopping each other from making squares. You see how simple it is, and there's so much maths in this, and it's a great strategy, of course, and visualization. You've got to spot the squares; they're not obvious.
A2, Caroline.
A2, and it's fun. I'm enjoying this. A2. What's she up to? Ooh. I don't know if she's got a second one, but I think I've just caught it just in time. Now, for those that weren't here before that didn't see it, there's a square was going to be. Tony thought she had a square here. I'm just going to do just light lines here, 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 here. She thought she was going to catch me out, but it's a what did you call it? A what square? Twisted square. Tilted square.
You know, I think we might end up with a draw, Caroline.
I would be very happy if we have a draw. It'll validate my existence if we have a draw.
Okay, so I'm going to go to D1.
Oh, Don, it's oh no, that was your turn. I thought it was my turn. I was going to take an extra turn. D1.
Oh, is it right?
No, it was your turn. I was. That's not.
Okay.
Is there another sneaky one going on there that I haven't noticed? Okay, but if I do that, okay, I think maybe
B2.
B2. Have you made a square?
No.
Oh right. Okay. All right.
Just stopped you making a square.
Yeah, well, I know, but you didn't have to do that. Definitely didn't have to do that. It's kind of stopped being interesting now. Is it possible? It's basically if I make a mistake, then it's possible. What if I put one that I can't see a bigger one. I'm not getting the big picture. Can't right now.
Mm-hmm. Do you know, I'm thinking this is going to be, I'm sure this is going to be a draw, Caroline. Yes.
Well, you could make a rectangle.
That's no
I
good.
can't, but you can make. Oh, I've made a no, I haven't, because you're in the way.
You can still make a square, actually. But
yes, I can, but I don't think it's possible. I think
it's rather annoying.
I think you can stop me from making those squares. Ooh, Henrik joined.
But maybe I can and somebody
Oh my
else
goodness.
can see it.
Tony, Syme's,
Okay, so
Syme's on. That's Eunice's sister-in-law.
I
Hi,
am
Syme.
going to go to I am going to go to E E E E
Got stuck. E3. No. Yes, E3 here. E3. I can't hear you. Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, what's she up to? What's she up to? So Tony, I was just saying, Syme's Eunice's sister-in-law is on. Henrik Robinson, Nancy Mayer from North America. North America. Not exactly sure where you are. Oh, Lucy Omar's on. We've got lots of wonderful people. Hi, Syme. It's so good to see you. Now, what are you up to there? Why have you done that? Not sure what's going on there. Well, that there.
Then I have to go to A4.
And that's kind of boring, so I'm going to go down here. But what have you got any squares I'm not spotting? Is this still a square? If you did that, and that, that's still a square. It doesn't matter that I've got one in the middle, does it?
No, it just has to be a square.
So you do still have possibilities. You have
Yes,
one possibility.
I do.
I don't know why I did that one.
At one point, I thought I couldn't see any. Now I can see. Yes, so I'm going to go to E0.
Oh, she nearly had one. Nearly had one. She nearly got the big outside square.
Yes, yes. So maybe some of the people out there can see it, but at the moment, I can't see another possibility. Oh, but I can see that if I have to go on A1.
And do you have another possibility? Can anybody see a place that hi Lorraine, she comes on by accident and she says I didn't know I was on. So I don't know. I'm not,
Shall we call it a draw, Caroline?
I think so. I think we'll call it a draw, but that was lovely.
It's very unlikely that children will get as far as this and decide it's a draw. Most likely somebody will win before now. But Caroline is quite good at this. What I want to do next, well, what I'd like to do now, screen with you, and it'll take a minute.
Right, I'm going to make you big.
Come through.
Tony's sound's not working at the moment, so we'll just be calm and wait for the internet gods to sort. Okay, Tony's screen has completely frozen now, and I'm not even sure. Can you see me? I'm on there. Okay. Oh yes, I'm just like this little box on there. Not sure if we've frozen altogether. What's happening here? Okay, that's not frozen. I think we've lost Tony. So Tony will be dialing back in. She was just about to do some screen sharing. So just let me let you know what's happening for those that joined later. Tony is
Caroline, I'm back.
You're back, and you seem to have full status already. That's good. It hasn't. Oh no, that's good. You've got full status.
So
I'm going to give you.
I was thrown out of the meeting, but I'm now back.
Unceremoniously.
right? So what I'm doing now is trying to share my screen again. And it did work when Caroline and I tried this earlier. So, but what I'm hoping to show you is a Facebook page. It's called facebook.com/AIMSEC-SA. Okay. Caroline, tell me when you can see it.
Yes, we've got it. We can see it.
Brilliant.
How about, yeah.
You today's was one about multiplying in weeks. So what
we
you
couldn't
see there in
hear
the
that, Tony.
picture is just okay. Can you hear me now, Caroline?
Yes, sort of. I'll just say hi, Joanna from Poland as well. It's
Caroline, perhaps you could
I'll describe what we've got here. So, so this is the AIMSEC Facebook page, and on the Facebook page, I'm not exactly sure what Tony was going to say about it, but what I've got to say about it is every single day there's a new resource on here, and they're done as little small activities that are really easy. You know, the little memes that you get on Facebook, they're a little bit of a challenge, where they're just small challenges, and every single one has a link to the Aiming High page, which has more detailed resources, and it gives you lots of explanations of what to do and why to do it, and really importantly, questions that can help you ask, because questions are the key to helping with learning at home. It's not the knowledge that gives the power, it's the questions that give the power, so the child inductively gets insight and learns. Now what we've got here is, spot the mistakes. We have a spot the mistakes little activity, and it's just an example of a little, just small memes which are engaging and very educational. They really help facilitate the learning of maths, and this Facebook page is full of them. I wonder what's coming next, because Tony's sound doesn't seem to work at the same time as sharing the screen. So I'm doing my best at being Tony for a few minutes. I'm like, need longer hair. Let's see what's going to come next. It's very exciting. Don't know what's coming next. Something's coming next. So yeah, this one, spot the mistakes. So that's a typical example, spot the mistakes. Now, when a young learner is, especially for the learning at home, it's great if you actually have different age children, and an older one can actually help a younger one, and the act of helping a younger one, and it's very important that they use the same rule, that they don't just tell, that they help inductively by asking questions, and they can learn so much by helping somebody else learn it. And in the same way, if the younger learner doesn't understand something, by explaining what they've done, explaining what the problem is, they can actually work things out for themselves. So what we've got here is another example. Ramanujan's number patterns. And it's got a very insightful question. The question is, are all terms in the sequence whole numbers divisible by 3? And if so, why? Now, those are nice open questions that are a challenge for, well, it's a challenge for me, frankly. So I'm not that I'm the most brilliant mathematician, but I would get engaged in that for sure. And in the process, do loads of, I'm just thinking about it now, my brain's going, why are they all divisible by 3? Are all the terms in this sequence whole numbers divisible by 3? Right, so even just understanding that question makes your brain brings your brain active. What's next, Tony? I like that one, and that's celebrating Ramanujan, who is that the man who knew, what's it? Oh dear, there was a movie about him. So he got more popularized, but he is he is revered really and very much loved in the world of mathematics, because he just was, without any education, he was a very what's the word, a mathematician with huge insights without education. So, oh, this one's nice, this one's lovely. We it's just about, I covered this earlier in the week, we'll cover it again probably, but it's an image where you can notice parallel lines, you can notice how the angles, like you've got three angles that you notice what relationship there are between the various angles. And the question is, what do you notice about the angles in this diagram? You can ask much younger children, what do you see? They'll see a triangle, they'll see straight lines, but also for younger children, it's just how does that compare to things they know of in real life? And then for the older children, what can you deduce when you start to add some of the angles? So it's just about, there's no right answer. There's no like, okay, like what can you deduce? That question is not, there's not a right or wrong answer to it. It's what do you find? It's all about enabling the child to think for themselves. And then of course there's the teachers, the home learning resource that helps you guide them where required, and helps you if you're not sure, then the home learning resource can help you make sure that you understand what's going on and why. What's next? Oh, Daryl. Hello, Daryl. Oh, I love Daryl. Such wonderful people coming on to this live tonight. So this is preparation for tomorrow's maths at home learning maths. Daryl, we're introducing the AIMSEC Facebook page with loads and loads of lovely resources. So we're going to put the links on when we're finished. I can't multitask, so the links will go on when we're finished on the live. So the AIMSEC page, and then there's the Aiming High website with all the other resources. What's next, Tony? There's such a delay on this. It's quite interesting. I'm having to fill in the gaps because Tony's sound isn't working. Oh yes. Okay. How many squares? So this is a variation. We're going to be doing this later in the week or at some point in not too distant future. So we've been playing the Square It game. So it's literally a challenge to find the squares and beat each other. Tony beat me in the first go. She found a tilted square, but I managed to we managed to make it a draw the second time. And this one is find out how many squares. Now this can go on for weeks. The one on the left, you can find the squares quite easily. Remember the tilted squares, but don't talk about the tilted squares. Let the child discover them for themselves, but it's something they can keep going back to, and you can keep encouraging to go and look for more and look for more. And here we go, the home learning guide, why you can play it. It's got other ways of doing it. You can use people maths, or you can represent other people with chairs or with items in the home. Make it big. I love making things big because you can really get to grips with it when you do that. And can think of ways you can set out a matrix of 16 things and then find the squares. And that's the Square It game. That's finding, maybe you could use string, put things on the floor and then use string to make the squares, string of all different colors, or wool or something. Right, what's next, Tony? And Tony's, as we were explaining earlier, she's the founder of the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences School Enrichment Center, where they create amazing courses for professional development for maths teachers in Africa that live and work in rural and disadvantaged areas. And the resources have to be simple because these teachers are on their own with very poor communications. So that the resources are naturally simple to understand, therefore ideal for home learning. And there are hundreds of resources on the Aiming High. Let's see if you can see that. Anyway, there'll be links on the website, down below. There'll be links below. Right, what's next? We've got the Square It game, and that's the template for the Square It game. So you've got the sample. That's not quite the same one. It's a variation of this one, but essentially, it's you can see on. I don't know how to show you here. Is on the screen, and so that's we got right. We're back. Let's see if your sound works, Tony.
So I've stopped sharing. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now that you're not sharing. The sound's working a lot better.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Better, but not very good. Okay, have another go.
It's about the
No, the sound's not working. Okay, Tony's
daily promotion.
Are you typing it out?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, it's frustration. Can you type it and I'll speak it? You type, I'll speak. Oh, we heard oh dear. We got that.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Not really. Oh, just now I could.
No.
Yes, go.
Caroline, can you hear me now? No.
Yes, go.
Okay. So Caroline has go. Okay. Caroline has talked to you about Facebook, AIMSEC Facebook, and every day there's a new resource. Okay, tomorrow it's going to be the Square It game. Now, I tried to show you the Aiming High website where there are hundreds of other games, and you could click on a link and you could get a PDF or lots of different PDFs and do it. So I've stopped sharing, and I hope you'll look at that talking. I hope you'll look at the guide for home learning. Now, Caroline asked me to talk a bit about just the generality of working with your children at home. We've already mentioned this evening that in most households, there are several children, different ages, and a lot of our activities are designed that you can get the whole family involved. For example, the whole family could be involved in the Square It game, and you can play it not for two people, but for two teams. There's maths at all levels from about age 7 to age 15, 16. So what the guide will help you to do is to get your children playing the game, and then after that, getting into the maths. Now, what I wanted to say was that I think there's a lot of anxiety about this. The children are not at school. Parents are worried that the children are missing out. Everybody is in the same position, everybody. So the main thing is not to get stressed, for the children not to worry about having to learn this maths that they don't quite understand. Now, we live in a different world from the world when I started teaching 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, nearly 60 years ago. Then there weren't any computers, and human beings had to do a lot of the work that computers do now in offices and all over the place. Nowadays, the computers do so much that what we need people to do is not to do the calculations, but to use the maths and to know how to use it in order to solve problems and to achieve all sorts of developments that make the world a better place to live in. Maths is very, very useful. So the children think of their futures, think of whether they are going to be able to keep learning throughout their lives. I'm 80 years old and I'm learning every week, every day. And in order to really thrive in this modern world, you have to be able to learn, keen to learn, able to pick up new things and run with them. So a learning without understanding is useless, absolutely useless. Kids may get right answers. That's no good if they didn't understand how they got there, or if next week they won't remember how to do it. So it's the understanding that we're really trying to promote, to get the kids, to help the kids. Now, the best way to help them is by not you explaining to them, but getting them to explain to you. Ask them questions. Ask them, what do you, can you explain that when they give you an answer? And one of the reasons for doing that is if you try to explain something to them in a way that you did it at school, as told them, they may get because they don't understand. So the best thing to do is for you to try to be a detective, for you to try to work out in your own head. It won't be easy, but for you to try to work out how much they understand, and then by asking them the right questions to guide them to the next step, and then the next step after that. And so what you will find in the AIMSEC guides is what we call key questions. What I often say to teachers is, what you should do is turn something that you want to tell them into a question. And then you'll take them along that step that you were going to go if you told them whatever it was, but you want them to think it out for themselves. And that way you're helping these young people to be more independent, to be able to use their brains more, and to to actually enjoy the maths, because trying to understand something that, so we're going to do more of these sessions, Carol.
Sorry, I'm muted so that I don't disturb what you're saying.
Okay, I just wondered if you could hear.
Yes, but there's one thing I just need to say, that there was a moment where we couldn't hear. It's basically, you were talking about turning it's the way that there was just that one moment where you transform the question and you're guiding them. So you're turning that way, you're guiding them to find the answer. That little bit there, we missed that. Just repeat that and hope it works.
Yes. What I was saying was the natural inclination is to explain something to the child. If you can, stop yourself explaining it, and instead, where you hope the child will think for himself or herself and will make that step, the same step as you were trying to take them forward, but they'll do it by thinking of an answer to your question. So in all our guides and notes, we offer what we call suggestions for home learning, and we offer what we call key questions. Now, the key questions are what I'm talking about. So they give you a clue as to the sort of questions you can ask. So, Caroline, I stopped by saying, and then you didn't respond. We're going to do some more of these sessions. Yes?
Yes, indeed.
And what we would like is your wonderful audience to come back to us with, how was it? And tell us, ask questions that we can answer. And we try to answer.
Yeah. And
so let's try and what were you saying, Caroline?
This is frustrating for you guys. We're doing the best we can. Tony is one of the leading mathematical learning facilitators in the world, so this is gold dust. We're going to record it again. I think we're going to have to do that, Tony, where we can just place a nicely recorded video for you for the words of wisdom, but hopefully you caught quite a bit of it. And we're going to sorry, now I've forgotten what you what I was answering, but basically we're going to be tomorrow morning, we're going to play this game. Every morning we're going to play games, mathematical games, with that the young learners can actually play. That's the objective, that they can play along. And then in the evenings we'll be introducing, or I'll be introducing, or Tony, whenever. Oh, that's it, we'll be doing this again. Yes, please, Tony.
Can I just say, can I just explain to everybody? I'm trying to operate on using my cell phone as a personal hot. Okay. So you hear me now?
Tony's not really. Tony's actually in Cambridge. You'd think she was in the deepest, darkest rural Africa. She's actually in Cambridge, and she's having internet problems with the telephone company that's installing the internet, where there were problems, and she's actually tethering off her mobile, and the mobile signal isn't that good. So we're doing pretty well, considering.
So it'll be broadband next time.
Yay! Hooray for broadband. Okay, I think we'll sign off there, so because we'll leave while the going's good. So,
bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
9 o'clock tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us. And tomorrow night is Doody and some sort. So tomorrow morning we are playing Square It game, the Square It game, live 9 o'clock in the morning, and there'll be repeats if you want to play it later. All the resources to download. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.